Okay, we're also giving an applause to André. Also, like André needs like two applauses because like he just put a whole conference together, and someone give him some energy. Okay, Max, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Hello, everyone.
And André, how are you feeling?
Quite relaxed, actually.
Amazing.
Everybody's having a good time, so I'm having a good time as well.
Perfect. Okay, so I want to ask first, let's start with what is Debify? This sounds very strange.
It's a new lending platform, non-custodial lending platform that's very important, globally available, where at some point every Bitcoiner in the world will be able to borrow from banks, financial institution, OTC desks, whatever. So it's basically a global liquidity aggregator for Bitcoiners to not to sell Bitcoin and to derive utility from
Why do we need credit? Isn't that like anti-Bitcoin?
I don't think it's anti-Bitcoin. In fact, I think it's very much pro-Bitcoin because Bitcoin is a super collateral. And, well, we have this meme, you need to hodl. And obviously, selling is not hodling. And we think that Bitcoin is at that stage on the market when the price goes up, that there's less and less incentive for people to sell it. But obviously, you need to buy things, you need to live off. And this is what we want to introduce to the market. It's already there, actual lending space is already there. But unfortunately, with what happened last year with BlockFi, Celsius, people lost faith in lending platforms. But there's a difference between these. And we want to people to hold to their Bitcoin and obviously, live off the Bitcoin for the rest of their lives.
And how is this different from BlockFi, for example? How is Debify putting themselves apart?
Well, first of all, BlockFi doesn't exist anymore, so that's the main difference, I think. But yeah, the main difference is that there's no reapplication. Bitcoins are locked in the collateral into escrow with 4 keys distributed among 4 different parties. And that's I think the main thing, because you don't custody your funds with Debify. Funds are locked in the multi-signature escrow on the public Bitcoin blockchain, fully transparent. You can monitor it real time. You can check it out. And also another important thing that BlockFi was pretty much limited to the US, and Debify will have a mission to bring Bitcoin lending to every part of the world. Not only US, but also Europe. And in fact, we're starting with Europe mostly. And yeah, we want to make lending global and available to everyone, because currently it's pretty much fragmented. And there's solutions within US, there's a couple solutions within European Union, but everything else is basically non-existent.
Okay, so can you explain exactly how is it that it's like transparent and safe? Like what is exactly that's happening that people can keep their Bitcoin but also get a loan? Like that sounds very confusing, to be honest.
Yeah, you every time you create a contract, we create a unique multi-signature escrow on the Bitcoin blockchain. You can verify that it was just created, it's fresh, it's never been reused through any blockchain explorer you prefer. You don't need to trust us. In fact, we're going to release a software piece that will allow you to operate with an escrow even without Debify interface. So you don't need us if you want to, release collateral or move collateral. So it's pretty much, it's pretty much decentralized setup in terms of storage of the collateral. It's still centralized because there's a platform, and because of that, it's pretty much transparent. You can follow, you can check it out that collateral is there, and it's also technically impossible for us with a single signature or with 2 signatures to move the collateral from the escrow. So we cannot rehypothecate those funds.
Okay, now what does this have to do with Free Madeira, Andre?
Well, the big goal of Fernandez, which is the entity, for those who don't know, it's a non-profit that we established here last year, with the big aim of education and adoption of Bitcoin around us. And the big reason we're doing the Bitcoin Atlantis to help with that goal. And Of course, we will pursue a lot of work on education to citizens, entities, and government locally. But one of the goals also is to attract like-minded individuals to Madeira to enlarge the community. And when I had the opportunity to speak with Max and partner on this, it made a lot of sense. Not only Max and Anna have true proof of work on other projects, though true Bitcoiners. The ethos is completely aligned. And this new project, Debify, will make a lot of sense for that community that may choose Madeira to establish their families and their businesses and help them, help them buy a house, do a project, and also we'll speak about the first project, I guess, later. So it's really aligned with the goals that we want for Free Madeira.
Can I use Debify?
Yeah, we kind of made a soft launch already on, I think, yesterday, and we're gonna announce it next week. So yeah, you can already start trying using Debify. It's an open beta, so there's still a lot of work to do, but you can already start researching. You can already checking out. Currently, it's stablecoin based, but in 1 month we're gonna add fiat. In fact, we already helped to issue a couple of fiat loans. We're gonna talk about this later. But returning to the Free Madeira, I just want to confirm with what André said. The idea of Debify is basically help people who are relocating or planning to relocate to Madeira. Obviously, they need to buy a house, they need to rent something, they want to maybe establish a business. These are Bitcoiners. We don't want to sell Bitcoin, so it's only perfect match that if you want to go to Madeira, you can go to Debify. We'll give you special conditions. We'll try to give special rates from the lenders. We'll try to negotiate, and you don't need to spend your Bitcoin in order to relocate to Madeira. You can just borrow against that, and get yourself a real estate or open a business or do something for your family.
Okay, so this sounds super interesting, and it has also been applied in real life. So right now, I would really like everyone to welcome the founders of A Place to Be, Sylvia, and Pablo is also part of the project. And they are the first group of people who actually use the service and can attest to it. So welcome. And I think you need to share a mic. So, Sylvia.
Yes.
Could you tell us a little bit about what A Place to Be is?
Yes. So A Place to Be is an unschooling sanctuary for families who raise fiat-proof kids. And it's being established here in Madeira. And I had the idea almost 2 years ago, and I started it a year and a half ago. And it's been kind of growing very slowly, step by step, mini steps, and then 10 steps back. And then I had all these ideas, like, how can I make this happen? How can I make this work? And how can I start this? Because obviously you need money to do this. And a few months ago, Rob, my husband, he met Max at a conference, I think in Riga, and he told him about Debify. And yeah, Rob told me about it, and I thought that seems like something that could help us make our project work, like start it. And sorry, I went further along with your question.
Don't worry.
Shall I continue?
No. Don't worry, it's fine. We will get there. Let's follow the storyline. Okay, so Rob met Max, and you had ideas.
Yes.
And what happened next?
All these ideas were like trying, and no, it's not going to work. So we try this, and it's not going to happen that way. So we had like these 50 different ways of raising money, and I was building a list, and I knew there were lots of people who want this project to happen, but the funding was still missing. So once Rob had told me about this, we set up a call with Max, and he talked me through it, or through the team. We met with our other team members, and it was very reassuring. Like, Max is always kind of very stable in his voice and his manners. Just like now, I like that because I'm nervous being on stage and he's just cool and he's always like that. So on the calls, it was just really nice for him to explain it in a way that I could understand it. He has so much patience because I'm not a technical person, and all the stupid questions I had, he answered patiently. I had maybe like 20 questions, and then I got my finance guy to ask him another 100 questions, and he answered them. So it took a few months because, from both sides, from us, we had other things to set up first. From Max's side, we're his first clients. They still had to set up a few things from both sides. So then a few weeks ago, we got 2 simulations done, which was also a really good way to help us understand, like once we're doing the real deal, what it's going to look like, what do we need. And I have my team members who are the technical people to help me with this, but the simulations were just very clear. And if there was a little something that didn't work out fine, they fixed it immediately. And can I continue, or do you want to have another question in between?
I want to ask another question, actually. So you find this project, you start working like with the Debify to make sure that your ideas and your dreams can come true. How does that? Can you explain why you wanted these ideas to come true?
Of course, like a place to be is not a business for me. It's not a project. It's really the extension of our lifestyle, because we don't send our kids to school. We're unschoolers and we're Bitcoiners, so we're freedom maximalists. And what a place to be is just our lives in a bigger scale, so that we come together with other families who are aligned with our values. So like all these years by now, it's been a very exciting but also frightening path, because I've never done anything on this big scale. But just because it's what I want for my life, for my family, there's nothing that can hold me back, really. So I just, went through, feel the fear and do it anyway. Continued working on the project, and with Debify, it's now possible to make this dream a reality, like to expand our lifestyle into something that other people can also join, and people who want to be a part of this. So it's, the catapult to make a place to be happen. Like we can launch this month because of Debify.
Okay, so Pablo, you are one of those families that are coming together with Debify, with a place to be thanks to Debify. How does that make you feel as a Bitcoiner and as a father? Like, you recently moved here, so you have kids, you have a tiny baby. How does that make you? Sorry, you actually posted on Noster, "My baby was born today." You did that.
Okay. Point taken.
Okay, so how do you feel about that? Like, what those hopes and those ideas of coming here, coming to Madeira? How does everything come together?
I first heard of Madeira on a podcast with you, with Rob, and the first thing that was immediately caught my eye was a place to be. I was looking for something like that. I didn't know something like that existed. Maybe it didn't exist before. But that's immediately I reached out to Rob, and I came maybe 2 weeks later. I came to Madeira. I was in Vietnam Vietnam at the time, and I came here to meet the local scene. And it's the reason I'm here. Like I see a place to be very much as an extension of Bitcoin and freedom technologies that we're working on. It's just a different side of the coin, of working on stuff that empowers people, stuff that empowers individuals. Unschooling is something that is very dear to my heart. The idea of just allowing kids to direct their learning instead of coercing them into be interested in math right now. So yeah, I'm super excited. A place to be is a lot of people here because Bitcoin is software, are very much look at things from the perspective of building businesses and building stuff as software, which is a very low-hanging fruit. But something like a place to be is very capital intensive upfront. So it's a very tall order to be able to bootstrap something like this. Debify, I think that's where it completes the picture of being able to give that final part to gap into making it a reality.
I feel like Debify kind of makes Bitcoin dreams true.
In what sense?
It's like you are actually providing the material for it to be put in real life in a structure. So they had a dream. The three of them had a dream, a want. And then you also had a dream of helping out things and making them possible.
Yeah.
And actually using your Bitcoin as a tool to be able to come back into this fiat world that we all still live in. You're actually bringing into the fiat world your Bitcoin reality and making it an everybody reality. Because right now, Bitcoiners are moving to Madeira because they want to experience free Madeira. Pablo, for example, wanted a better place for his children. Sylvia wanted to create something like that. And Debify kind of gave those tools to be able to materialize it in a world that is still very fiat, even though free Madeira exists, it's still a fiat world.
Yeah, but we've been from the beginning. We decided we don't want to be just a regular lending platform, and in fact, like Free Madeira is just the beginning. Us supporting local communities, we want to expand specifically to local communities of Bitcoiners and help them to make their like projects, dreams, whatever come true, and leave off the Bitcoin standards. So that's the initial idea of Debify. Not just of course. Majority of people still gonna use lending platform, borrow against Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin. That's a Bitcoiner thing, which is okay. But a lot of them will gonna use, when the price goes up even more, a lot of people will be able, to buy first property, to travel, to quit the job, fiat job, and, to just use Bitcoin and live off that.
Okay, so we have 2 minutes left, and I actually wanted to ask André if how do you see like more local communities? What would you recommend to them when it comes to what you're doing right now, and how it feels to see it like materialize with a conference, with schools opening up? But how does that work?
Well, this is a perfect example of what we're trying to build here, which is real life value to the community and to our island, our society, my kids that are here. I was so very happy because I'm seeing, Bitcoin is a very young technology still, and we're seeing the builders now are through the roof amazing, building so many crazy cool stuff. Like Max did, and now this it's so special to see a connection to real life projects and not trading or just hodling and I think that's an example to follow to all the other communities around the world. But I'm sure Max will go over all of them, and and we'll see unimaginable projects come to this amazing hyper-Bitcoinized world that I think it's sooner than later.
Okay, so credit is not a fiat thing, guys. It's actually a Bitcoin thing now, right, Max?
Yeah.
One last thing that you want to tell these people about this cool project?
Which one in particular?
Well, Debify, clearly, Max.
Yeah, so I don't want to like advertise Debify anymore. We're gonna announce it next week. We're doing our best to help up everyone with liquidity. We're doing our best to help up with the ethical side of Bitcoin lending. You go there, you try it, you test it out. If you have any feedback, send the feedback. If you find any minor issues, send the issues. We will be very appreciated for help, for finding some inconsistencies, but overall, we're trying to build a good project, ethical project for Bitcoiners across the globe, and we will be happy if you're going to use us. That's the
Perfect. Thank you, guys.